Hello everyone, it is time for another one of my weekly draft videos. I post one every Monday and Thursday, and we're doing more Hour of Devastation, so I'm going to jump in the queue. Okay, let's resize this. This is a very, very strong first pack. Unesh is very, very good. It's a big flyer in the air who draws you cards. And sometimes you can even do it more than once if you have more Sphinxes. Desert's Hold is a premium uncommon removal spell, and Ambuscade is the best common, I think. I think I like it more than Open Fire or Unquenchable Thirst. We're going to take the Mythic. It is very, very strong. It can win you the game on its own. Ambuscade and Desert's Hold, while quite good, they're just removal spells. And yeah, normally I'd be thrilled to first pick either of them, but we're going to go with Unesh here and just try to do some card drawing and playing a big flyer. I mean, there's no reason not to like that. Very likely that the people to our left are going to be in the colors of white and green because of what we saw in that pack. Well, this pack, we're going to take a Braid. It's actually worth a ticket or two, in addition to the fact that it's just a great card. I like River Hoopoe a lot. I like Unquenchable Thirst a lot, but a Braid is just better than either of those cards. Open Fire is not bad either. Wouldn't mind maybe the Hoopoe coming back, but it looks like we might be blue-red. We'll just have to see here. Okay, Sinuous Strikers is fine. I'm kind of thinking about taking the Desert. Oh, there's an Open Fire, actually, so never mind. We're just going to take Open Fire. Yeah. That's the plan. Okay, so if we're blue-red spells, Firebrand Archer is pretty good. This pack isn't overly exciting. Sandblast is probably the best card. I'm not on board with Merciless Eternal. I know a lot of people are, but I'm not. So I think I'd probably just take a Firebrand Archer here over like a Tragic Lesson or something. Like, there's nothing here that really makes me want to go into other colors. And this goes with our spell theme, which is what you want to be doing most frequently in a blue-red deck anyway. But we haven't seen a ton of great blue. We did see an Unquenchable Thirst that we passed. Okay, here I think I'm going to take Ipnu Rivulet. Deserts are great. It is one that produces colored mana. Its activated ability is not usually going to be very relevant, but I like it. Wouldn't mind a Blur of Blades, or a Granitic Titan, or a Frontline Devastator, or a Tragic Lesson, or Cunning Survivor, but they're all things I wouldn't mind. I actively want this in my deck in a world where deserts are such a big payoff. We did pass an early Open Fire and an early Unquenchable Thirst, so that doesn't bode super well for us. We just have to hope that only the people directly on either side of us are in those colors and not multiple people. We'll just have to see what happens. Okay, well, I do like Spellweaver Eternal in this deck. There's also a Bitterbow Sharpshooters and a Harrier Naga, which is good, and a Desert of the Mindful. And a Thorn Moloch. These are all things I feel okay about having. I think I'm going to take the Eternal over the Desert, though. It is close, but I think I want to try to cut sort of cards that push people towards the Prowess deck, while Thorn Moloch does to some extent. Spellweaver Eternal is way better. And the green cards here are admittedly quite good, so there's some chance green's more open than what we're trying to do, but for now, I think we're just going to stick to what we seem to be trying to do first. So here's a Moloch and a Cunning Survivor. I think I'll take the Moloch here. Maybe I want the Survivor more, huh? It is a 2-drop. Yeah, let's take the Survivor. Now we'll take a Moloch. We could take Manalith, but that's... I'd rather just take a another creature that seems to be trying to do what our deck wants to do. Okay, Imaginary Threats isn't bad. Countervailing Winds isn't bad. We'll take one of those. Ruin Rat's probably the best card in this pack. I think I like Countervailing Winds more than Imaginary Threats. They're both kind of mediocre cards that have cycling. Okay, we're going to take another Archer here over a Riverwinder. Okay, Black Desert made it all the way to us. I'm going to take that. Just in case. Yeah, Tragic Lesson, sure. Tragic Lesson again, sure. So we've got some payoffs for blue-red. None of them are super exciting yet, though. I mean, Firebrand Archer and a couple creatures with prowess is what we have. Well, there are worse things to take with your last pick than Disposal Mummy. Wow, and that is a very late Wretched Camel. I like that card a reasonable amount, so seeing it there is a little surprising. Okay, so here it's Puncturing Blow versus Nimble Obstructionist. Sinuous Striker is good too, but these are the two probably just the best cards in the pack, the Puncturing Blow and the Obstructionist, and luckily they're in our colors, so it's a good problem to have, I guess. Puncturing Blow is a good removal spell. The Obstructionist is a nice creature that does, you know, it has flash. It can do a lot of extra work. It can counter activated abilities. But Puncturing Blow is a very good removal spell, and I think I'm going to take it over the Obstructionist. Yeah, let's do it. We already have sort of a big win condition. What we want now is lots of removal, really. More big win conditions would be good, too. Here, I think we'll take Supreme Will over an Eternal. Hypno Rivulet's fine, but yeah, we'll take this. Kenra Scrapper, also worth looking at. But in this particular deck, I think I like Supreme Will. All right, well, we are a Riddle Form deck. I think I like Jace's Defeat for our sideboard, but yeah, we're going to take Riddle Form. That is a very good payoff for being very spell heavy. Another Ambi. This is a very strong pack if you're green, so people are going to be happy because Appeal, the Authority, Hope Tender, and Ambuscade are all very good. Torment of Venom is too. We're just going to grab a Spellweaver Eternal. Okay, we have another Moloch. We have a Jace's Defeat. Reason to believe. If we pick up a little fixing, maybe we can occasionally cast a Believe half, and the Reason half is pretty good in a deck that wants lots of spell triggers. So I'm sort of thinking about taking it. We have Seer of the Last Tomorrow and Jace's Defeat as our other options. Even Crash Through is worth looking at. In fact, maybe I just take Crash Through. Yeah, let's just take Crash Through. It's pretty good in a deck where you have enough prowess triggers and Riddle Form and stuff like that. It's just like a cycler that has a little bit of upside. So far, we don't have any Unquenchable Thirsts or Sand Stranglers or the like to really pay us off for having a new Rivulet. There's a Manolith here. Two good green cards. I do think green's probably the most open color, but it seems like what we're doing is maybe this color pair is open because we're seeing a lot of stuff for it. Would I rather have another Thorn Moloch or another Crash Through? I think I'll be able to pick up some late Crash Throughs, so here I'm going to take the creature. Probably should have thought about that the last time too. And the only person who's going to want Crash Through is someone who's in a deck with lots of spell triggers, and there's not usually going to be more than one of those. This is a Sphinx, but unfortunately it doesn't work with Unesh because it's not a Sphinx when it comes into play. Okay, we're going to happily take Unsummon here. It's great to see an Unsummon at this point of the draft. Strategic Planning, Manolith, Proven Combatant, all things I would think about taking, but Unsummon's great, so we will happily take it. Okay, so here I think I'd take another Cunning Survivor. Another pack with decent black in it. But I think we're okay where we are. Not sure I want to play Countervailing Winds. In an ideal world. In an ideal world, I'd probably cut one Moloch too. And like one Cunning Survivor. We don't have a lot of cycling. Okay, Kindled Fury is a combat trick. Strategic Planning is a draw spell. I guess I'd rather have the Planning than the Fury. So I'll take it. I don't know that I'm going to play it. I'm just going to put it over here for now, in fact. I do think green-black probably ended up being the most open color pair. We will grab a Crash Through. What we want in the last pack are some Cryptic Serpents and stuff like that. Like some of the uncommon payoffs in pack 3 are great. And that will make playing Crash Through a lot better. Okay, now I think I'll take a Jace's Defeat from my sideboard. I think it's a reasonable sideboard card. I already have one Strategic Planning I don't really want to play. I'd rather play Tragic Lesson. It's instant speed. Yeah. and strategic planning is not. So, but yeah, we do have a good sideboard card. Yeah, we'll take a Seer. Don't know if we'll play it. Most likely not. I'm going to start it over there in an ideal world. We will play our Rivulet. It has the least upside of the uncommon desert cycle, but it has some upside. You know, occasionally a game can go long enough that you just mill someone and they lose because they only have 3 cards left in their library. If we end up with some cards with Internalize or Embalm, sometimes you're like, I lose the game unless I hit one of those cards with this. I'll take a second Jace's Defeat. Hope we play against someone who's playing a lot of blue. But it doesn't have a ton of upside, but my point is I'm going to leave it in my deck, even with 0 Desert Synergies. Because it does, you know, it's still a slight upgrade over a typical island. It's just not as much of one as the other 4 in the cycle. Yeah, I mean, ideally, I'm not going to play these Cunning Survivors either, so let's put them over here for now. And this is the stuff that I feel fine or better about playing in the deck. Yeah, I'll take that. I mean, it's not a card I love by any means, but it is playable, and it's in our color. So as a last pick, I'll take it. I mean, it's like barely playable. Yeah, we have all the planning we need. So Enigma Drake would be good too. Cryptic Serpent, Warfire Javelineer. Those are all uncommons, but they're all great payoffs for being in this deck. We already have a few good payoffs for being in the deck, like Riddle Form, Firebrand Archers, and our creatures with prowess. But more would be better. Magma Spray and things like that would be better. Would be good too. So Cryptic Serpent is where Crash Through can really shine. Oh man. We don't have any fixing, but Samut is really good. Really, really good. If this pack didn't have Magma Spray in it, I would probably take Samut and try to get the fixing for it, because Samut is incredibly strong. If we already had fixing, I would probably take Samut. But we don't, and I'm not sure we're going to get it as good as Samut is. Magma Spray is really good too, and Electrify is fine too, but I would take Samut over Electrify and all the other commons and uncommons in this pack. If this were pack 1, pick 1, I would just take Samut. But it's not. So someone's going to be pretty happy that I'm passing Samut, but we're going to take the Magma Spray. The less exciting pick, certainly. Probably going to see like 5 Evolving Wilds now. Nope. We see another Magma Spray, though, and I will take that. I wouldn't mind River Serpent. Don't really want Slither Blade, but this River Serpent coming back would be fine with me. But we will take another Magma Spray. Hazoret's Favor is not good. Cartouche of Knowledge, I think, is probably good for our deck. We don't have a ton of creatures, which, you know, is how this deck rolls, but putting it on Spellweaver Eternals and Thorn Molochs and the like is pretty good. It gives them a prowess trigger. We've also got Minotaur, Sure Shot, and Emberhorn Minotaur, but this also triggers all of our spell stuff. So I think I'm going to take it. Yeah, we'll take it. Trial of Knowledge. So we do have Trial and Cartouche, which is not something that always happens. Here's a card with prowess that's okay, and I might take it with the amount of payoffs we have. I like Trial of Knowledge. It is a little clunky, but I do like drawing cards. Naga Oracle, not so much. It's really between... I mean, Cartouche of Zeal isn't good in our deck. We have to have more creatures to really want to play it, but Soulscar Mage actually seems reasonable because it has prowess. It's a 1-drop. But Trial of Knowledge, I think I gotta take Trial of Knowledge. I like drawing cards too much to say no to it. Plus we already have a Cartouche, which doesn't happen nearly as often in this format. So ideally I won't play you. Yeah, I mean, probably can cut a Tragic Lesson if we have a Trial of Knowledge. Ooh, I do love Gale Strike. I'll take that here. Yeah. A few more creatures wouldn't hurt. So, like, maybe we gotta play Proven Combatant, and maybe we gotta play a Cunning Survivor or something. This could be how things have to be. Because we really don't want to not have a target for Cartouche of Knowledge, and right now we're running 9 creatures, so it's possible. I'd really like to get back a River Serpent, any sort of nice in the air win condition or just large creature to round out our deck, because right now that's what we're really lacking. You know, we started with Unesh, but since then we haven't exactly seen, we haven't exactly picked up anything. We've seen a few things. Might be worth cutting a Crash through in the end, too, if we don't end up with some more spell payoffs. Because right now, what we're getting for it is okay, but it's nothing special. Like, we really want some larger creatures to make Crash through be its best. Okay. Some more good green stuff here. I think we're just going to take Pathmaker Initiate. I might play it over Cunning Survivor in this deck, but probably not. I think I'd rather have a 1-3 than a 2-1 in this deck. Maybe not. I mean, I don't have any cycling. This can at least push through like Spellweaver Eternals and stuff. So, yeah, we'll stick them both over here for now. Okay. Well, we have Tormenting Voice and Violent Impact. I don't hate taking Violent Impact here. Tormenting Voice, this is basically the one deck where you actually, I think it's worth playing in this format. But I don't hate having a card that can blow up artifacts in my sideboard. Too often it happens when I just don't have one and I end up running into a problem artifact. So I'm going to go ahead and take the very mediocre Violent Impact for my sideboard. It's, you know, I'm only going to side it in if my opponent plays, what's it, God Pharaoh's Gift or something of that level. Okay, here I think we'll take Watchers of the Dead. Yeah, it doesn't really look like we're going to pick up much more in the way of, like, synergy for our deck, but maybe we'll get lucky. I am going to take this Watchers. I think it's a reasonable 2-drop. It's nothing special, but it's probably going to end up being better than Cunning Survivor or Pathmaker Initiate in this deck. Its ability is very occasionally relevant, but the deck it's most relevant against usually is actually this deck, where you have various cards that care about how many instants and sorceries you have in your graveyard. We don't have any of those, but yeah. Well, Reduced to Rubble is in both our colors, but it's pretty bad. Sacred Excavation isn't going to do anything for us. We're not going to play Hyena Pack. I guess I'm going to take Reduced to Rubble. Actually, I guess I'll just take Cancel. It's probably a better sideboard card because it's just a hard counter, so we'll take Cancel. Come on, River Serpent. Just give me a River Serpent. That's all I ask. Well, Desert Cerodon is not River Serpent, but I'll take it. I don't think I'm going to play it, but maybe I will. River Serpent's a lot better than this guy. I think we ended up with a pretty solid deck. More top curve would have really made it a lot better, which, you know, I think I've already mentioned. And might be a reason that we have to play this Cerodon, just so we have something else going on in the late game after we use all this removal and stuff. Well, I'm happy to take a Minotaur Sure Shot here. Not a late game threat or anything, but it is a good creature. So I may trim down to 1 Crash Through since we don't really have enough of a reason to play 2 of them. Tragic Lesson, Supreme Will, and Trial of Knowledge are all going to draw us lots of cards. Not to mention our rare, Unesh. Mythic rare, actually. Yeah. Pathmaker Initiate or Cunning Survivor. I think I'm going to go with the Initiate in the end. It can make enough of my creatures push through the last few damage. Like, I can pump a Moloch and then do something to give it prowess. I mean, use this to make it unblockable and then give it prowess, which isn't the worst. So we probably need to cut 1 more card. I think we probably need 17 lands. Where does that card come from? I'm not sure where it comes from. Is it just Watchers of the Dead? Wow, that's 2 late supernatural staminas. Yeah, black was very open. I mean, I'm happy with what we ended up with, but I bet if we, you know, and you guys can, and I can too eventually, go back and watch this draft, I think we saw a lot of signs that black and green was probably the most open color pair. But I think what we ended up with is pretty solid anyway. I'd probably cut one of these 2 drops, probably Watcher of the Dead or Pathmaker Initiate. I could think about cutting one of my 3s too. I guess cutting a 3 might be a little better. Maybe in the end I will cut Tragic Lesson. Seems like we have enough card draw, although... yeah, let's get rid of it. It's probably the worst of our card draw spells in this deck. Yeah, and we need to keep a decent-ish number of creatures. You don't want to get run over. And yeah, this is basically our deck. Didn't end up with any other Sphinxes, unfortunately. Last time I drafted this, Unesh, I think I also had the 5-mana 4/4 Sphinx. And I got it like twice when I had Unesh in play, which was really messed up. But yeah. So, we're more red than blue in the end. And I think that's probably right. It's hard to say. Would I rather go 8 total sources, which means I would go like this because of Ipnu Rivulet? I have a lot of early red spells. More early red spells than I do blue spells. So yeah, we'll go 8/8 in the end. All right, so this is our... No, it's not, because somehow I managed to not add enough lands. So wait a second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh yeah, so I have to have more in one color. And yeah, I guess I'd rather have the island just because... No, I have more early red stuff, and I have earlier double red. Yeah, this should be okay. All right, now this is our deck. I'll see you guys in the first match. All right, first match of now our Devastation draft, and I think we would like to play first, and I think this is an okay hand. It's certainly nothing exciting, but we have, you know, a 2-drop, a 3-drop, and some early removal. Both are colors, all things I'm happy to see. Opponent plays a Kopesh. Hey, there's our big win condition / card draw spell. Do need double blue for it, but we also have plenty of time to get it. I'm definitely not going to abrade. You know, I was talking about Violent Impact and how I wouldn't have a way to destroy artifacts. I'm sure some of you already posted it in the comments. Oh, I need to change the size of this. There we go. I'm sure some of you already posted in the comments that you know, I have abrade, which is a good point. Probably didn't need that Violent Impact. All right. Well, there's our double blue. We're going to bash with this Pathmaker here. And we're going to play Minotaur Sure Shot. Another creature who it's kind of funny that sometimes you can pump. Like in the really late game, the 2 of them together can do a ton of unblockable damage. So, wouldn't mind doing that. Would not mind doing that. Is that all our opponent has? Wow. We're gonna be pretty happy here, I guess. Our opponent might have a way of killing our Sure Shot, but we're just going to pump it here. We don't have anything else to do with our mana. We could leave mana up for Unsummon, I guess. Maybe that's the... Yeah, our opponent is going to do something to it. Okay, well, in that case, we are definitely leaving mana up for Unsummon and Abrade, should those things become necessary. Yeah, we're abrading that. All right, well, next turn we'll be able to play Unesh, which will be nice. Tap for 2. Leave mana up for Unsummon. Not that we could do anything anyway. It's not really leaving mana up if you couldn't do anything anyway, you know. Okay, Hooded Brawler. So, I'll probably cast Unsummon here. Maybe, because I'll be tapped out next turn. So I think, yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and cast Unsummon on that. Yeah, well, we will play Unesh here, draw some stuff. Yeah, that's a good one. Our opponent is about to play. We know they have Hooded Brawler, and granted, we're going to be tapped out, so we won't be able to kill it before the Kopesh, but still. Yeah, that's kind of a hard choice. But I think I'm going to go with the Trial in the end. I like Magma Spray. But I have a big flyer. Drawing more cards will be good. Yeah. That's what we'll do. I may regret that, especially if our opponent plays their own, plays another X2. If I could have played one of those mountains this turn and left mana up for Magma Spray, I probably would have done that. There's Hooded Brawler. With our opponent being in green, there's a very real chance they have like Bitterbow Sharpshooters, which would make Unesh pretty sad. They can't play it this turn. That's good news. Opponent trying to decide, I guess, whether or not they want to equip their Kopesh. Hope Ixalan has more equipment in it. This set had one piece of equipment in each set. Is that even right? Yeah, I think that's right. I'm trying to remember what the 1 hour of Devastation is. Oh, it's the one that gives a flick that's like terrible. That's why I can't remember what it is, because nobody ever plays it. This one's actually decent. It's nothing special, but it is a perfectly reasonable card. But we haven't had like interesting equipment in a while. It's all been sort of... Restart. Okay, so we had a disconnection there. We now are back. Our opponent, I guess, didn't do anything in the end. Trial of Knowledge, Magma Spray, Crash Through. I think I'm going to attack with my Initiate and my Unesh. If he wants to trade, then I'm fine with that. I could use Magma Spray now, but I have a pretty good feeling our opponent has a trick. Otherwise, I don't know why they would have done what they did. So I'm just going to attack with both. Could have been worth playing Trial first. I still would have had mana for Magma Spray, etc. But, ooh, Ambuscade. No, see, that's going to work out pretty well for us. We get a 2-for-1. We bash for 6. Yeah, opponent scoops. Okay, that's good, because we wasted a lot of time by getting disconnected. Okay, so Jace's Defeat. Not the place for that. Sometimes I think Cunning Survivor is worth citing in if we see someone with a bunch of X1s. It's not what we saw. It's usually against red-white that it would be worth it. So yeah, I think we just roll this back out there. Okay. No red mana. No early drops. I'm on the draw. Is this keepable on the draw? It might be. No, I'm going to mulligan. Okay, this is better. Yeah, I'll take 2 of those. I don't have as much power in the late game in this hand, but, you know, in your hand, you don't generally, like in an ideal world, you wouldn't have your late game power in your opening hand, right? You want it, but you don't want it early usually. You'd rather have something more useful. Hey, Firebrand Archer, what's up? Okay, we're going to play our Firebrand Archer. Going to be a lot of Firebrand Archers in this game. I can tell you that. Earthshaker Kenra. Okay, our opponent's going to bash us for 4. Really need Magma Spray to deal with that nonsense. Because killing it is not very good because it can come back in the late game and wreak havoc. Okay, do I want to attack with my Firebrand Archer? Do I want to try to be the beatdown here? I think I will try. See how that goes. We're going to play Spellweaver Eternal here. Not planning on blocking anything. Ooh, yeah, our opponent got a nasty start this time. Just gonna bash us now for at least 5. If I had mana for open fire there, that would have felt a lot better. But I didn't, as you know. Yeah, so 6, they're gonna drop us to 9. We can kill that archer and get in for some extra damage, which isn't too bad. There's an Abrade. I think it's worth it to play Abrade here so that I can also play my Firebrand Archer. So I'm going to go Firebrand Archer, Abrade. So we get all these happy little spell triggers. And we bash for 6 and drop our opponent to 10, or 5 rather. Drop them to 11. But we have another spell next turn. So if our opponent plays like a blocker here and we blow it out of the way with open fire, I think we finally pull ahead in this race. It's possible at least. Okay, so if he attacks here, if he stays aggressive here, I think we're in really good shape. Okay, he attacks. That's good for us. Oh God, do we just win now? That's stupid. I'm sorry, opponent. We drew our Magma Spray. Sometimes the luck is just... Yeah, we just win now because then we go open fire to the dome. Well, that first game was devoid of any of these shenanigans. This game, we, won with those shenanigans. All right, won our first match. Hopefully we can win maybe even the next 2. I'd like more than 1 trophy here. We're going into the second match of our Devastation draft, and we obviously have an auto mulligan hand here with 0 lands. All right, this one is solid. Well, that makes it even better. Yes, please. I like Spellweaver Eternals with cartouches or Thorn Molochs with them. Both are appealing. Which I do will depend on what my opponent does. I may just Magma Spray something here at the end of our opponent's turn. Yeah, it looks likely. Well, maybe not. Usually in a red-white deck, I find myself... No, yeah, they're going to do... No, they're not. Okay. I am okay with that. I will play Spellweaver Eternal. Maybe our creature is going to eat a Magma Spray. They're going to cycle a desert. Okay. Not the ideal start for a red-white deck, but our opponent may have Sand Strangler, in which case... And they have Hostile Desert, too. So that's good for them. They can actually use it right now to block my Spellweaver. So, do I play Cartouche of Knowledge now when my opponent has a bunch of mana up? Or do I just play Thorned Moloch and play around my opponent? I think I probably play around. So let's just play the Moloch and end the turn. Problem is, if I play my Cartouche, my opponent has Magma Spray. It is a huge blow to me. Wow, they are all over this this desert stuff. Sand Strangler? Sand Strangler? Yeah. That is kind of what I expected. The good news is now we can play Cartouche of Knowledge without being too scared. And that was not the case before. Okay, so yeah, we're going to play the Cartouche. Pump it to a 4 this turn. It'll be a 3-2 in future turns. We draw a card, which is pretty important. Yep, alright, we're going to attack for 4, and then we're going to play Pathmaker Initiate. Wonder how many Sand Stranglers our opponent has. The answer could be a lot, since our opponent seemingly took every desert that came their way. That's what I would do if I went like Sand Strangler, in my first 2 picks. I would just be like, sure, play them all. Probably has Solitary Camel and Desert's Hold and Desert Ceradon as well. In fact, Desert Ceradon could be what our opponent's playing as we speak. Nope, Manticore the Gauntlet. Yeah, that's painful. Just gonna put the counter there. We go to 14. Okay. We will attack for 3 in the sky. I could make it 4 to kill that, but it's really not much of a concern now. Alright, so we're going to play the Sure Shot. I may try to use Magma Spray here to take down the Manticore, but I'll probably just take 5 to the face. Go to 9, see if we can find a better way of dealing with it. All the deserts. They're all here. And our opponent has a bunch of deserts. This plus hostile desert's pretty gross. Now I kind of feel more obligated to try to protect my life total. So now I do get to have the Pathmaker Initiate Minotaur Sure Shot combo going for me. So I go to 9 here. I can swing for, assuming my opponent doesn't interrupt me somehow, I can swing for 7 next turn. Yeah, but if I do that, then yeah. Our Minotaur Sure Shot can attack through Sand Strangler anyway. It can't attack through Hostile Desert, but it can attack through Sand Strangler. So let's block and try to use Magma Spray here to save us. It might not go so well. There's a very good chance it doesn't go well. The amount of time it's taking our opponent to decide to do something makes me think that they likely have something to save their creature, whether it's a combat trick or what. I mean, either way, I get 2 for 1, so it's not, doesn't feel great no matter how this goes because of that fact. Yeah, he's got something. I'd rather get rid of this, though, than get rid of a card in my opponent's hand. That's for sure. Sandblast, yeah, that is a 2 for 1 right there. We need to draw a card draw spell of some kind, or you only cost 2, don't you? You scary creature, you. Hostile Desert. Oh, they're tapping out anyway. Oh, but they tapped out for Struggle. That's not good. We did draw a card draw. So we're just going to do that. Wow. We're just going to discard a card. It doesn't really matter because we drew all lands. Awesome. I think I'm just going to attack here. It's a little crazy. Maybe I shouldn't. Yeah, actually I shouldn't because my opponent can attack for 7. And then, yeah, I'd at least like to hold back the Manticore here. I mean, the Sand Strangler. There's no holding back that Manticore right now. Getting strangled with sand does not sound like a lot of fun. Yeah, better opponent's draft started like Sand Strangler, Ramanop Ruins. Let's take every desert. That's what I would have done. If that's how my draft started. Even of Enduring Hope. Great, great, great. Okay, Gale Strike is kind of terrible. I was going to say it's okay, but our opponent's creatures all do something when they enter the battlefield. I guess Haven of Enduring Hope does the least problematic thing when it enters the battlefield. So that's probably what I'll use Gale Strike on, and I'll try to block and kill the Manticore here. None of that is good, but it prolongs the game. Okay, well, Hostile Desert is a dude. Opponent is going to attack. What do I kill? So I could block this. Now that's not going to be good. I think I have to take down the Manticore, and that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to bounce the Aven. And really hope I draw something awesome. Like Unesh. Unesh would be good. Opponent might just like destroy us here anyway, by the way. Depending on what their cards in hand are. Get out of here. We go to 4. Firebrand Archer, huh? Does your opponent have a trick? No. We go to 4. Firebrand Archer can block, but being at 4 when your opponent has Ramanop Ruins is not... It's not good. We have not put up much of a fight here. Ooh, good. Top Crop Elite. And what do we draw? We draw Magma Spray, but... I don't think I need to show my opponent I have 2 of those, because, yeah, it can't even buy us a turn, really. I mean, I could have played a blocker and killed one of them, but we were pretty much done. No reason to bring in Cunning Survivor. Cancel. Nope. Nope. All right. I would like to play first. I think this is a keeper. We would like to draw a 3rd land pretty badly, but we have a good shot too before we need it. We got a 2-drop. We have Magma Spray. We got a couple 3s. It's a much better start than our last one was, I think. All right, we did draw that 3rd land, which I'm happy to see. We'll play our Initiate here. I probably play Moloch next because I have so many spells to back it up instead of the Sure Shot next. It depends what my opponent plays, but I think I'm just going to cycle a Desert again and then like Sand Strangle my face off on turn 4. Seems likely. We will attack. All right, so we'll play the Moloch. They're going to cycle their Desert. Last game, we didn't start as good, but so far their start's the same, which might not be good for us. Ooh, I'm glad I can Magma Spray you. Very glad, because you're good. So yeah, we're just going to go Magma Spray, swing for 5. That card has underwhelmed me a little bit in this format, Fervent Paincaster, but it's pretty good. It's not like really excited to pick first pick uncommon like I thought it would be, but it's not incredibly far behind that. You know, you don't really want to be passing it after pick 5 or 6. Okay. Downside about Gale Strike is I can't use it offensively. Like I can't use it to get a blocker out of the way and then attack my opponent. So our bounce spells are all pretty bad against our opponent for reasons already mentioned. He's probably got Sand Strangler here, right? I mean, you know, why not? Why not get him 2 games in a row and play him on turn 4? No, just Trial of Zeal. It's a little better than Sand Strangler. What do you take down? Minotaur. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, Hypno Rivulet. Sure. We're going to attack for 4. Drop our opponent down to 9. Play Hypno Rivulet and end the turn. I could have thought about like holding the land to bluff there, but I don't think there's any good reason to do so, especially because I want to be able to play my God damn it, Manticore. Manticore of the Gauntlet. There's good news is it only has 3 toughness, which means Thorn Moloch. He's going to be afraid to block Thorn Moloch with it. And hopefully I draw something that makes it actually hard for him to block the Thorn Moloch. That will do. Here now, I do think we hold on to the land. Well, no, we don't. We're going to draw enough stuff to discard, and this way I can leave up 1 blue and 1 red after I cast it. Yeah. So we're going to go Trial of Knowledge. Feels like we're playing Triple Amonkhet with all these trials. Yeah, so we're going to pitch a land. Yeah, we'll pitch an island. And we will attack with Thorned Moloch, who my opponent just can't block now. First strike. So we're looking good here. We're about to play Spellweaver Eternal. Our opponent's at 6, and we have a few sources of inevitability. So I like that. As I mentioned, I can't really use Gale Strike aggressively unless my opponent decides to attack me, and then I can use it to get 2 prowess triggers, which isn't too bad. I could tap my own creature to get 2 prowess triggers too, but that's not really going to be worth it, I don't think. I wouldn't be able to do it now anyway because it would untap before I could. Now we're at so much life that it's doesn't feel as terrible to have to bounce a Manticore of the Gauntlet. Okay. All right. Well, I was just saying it doesn't feel terrible. And I think we go ahead and we do it here. Opponent can do Cradle of the Accursed, but it won't be able to block and keep him from taking damage. So I think I'm just going to cast Unsummon here. See what our opponent does about that. Opponent does have a ton of removal in their deck, so we should be prepared for that to happen here. For, you know, one of these to die. I mean, our opponent's dead if they don't do something here. So I would assume they're going to do something. Pre-combat even, you're going to do something? All right, yeah, we're just going to attack with everybody. See what happens. If all you do is make a zombie, now you're going to gain life. Okay. So we drop our opponent back down to 4. Renewed Faith. But 4 is still good news for us, I think. Now I will hold on to this mountain to bluff, even though all we have is Gale Strike. Yep. But as my opponent tries to use removal, I probably would Gale Strike one of my own creatures. I think. Leave. Ah, well, they are going to try to use removal. It's an interesting use of leave. You use behind to draw a bunch of cards, or not? It's not leave behind. It's leave to chance. That's what it is. Okay. Manticore. No, Sand Strangler. Yeah, we're still going to use Gale Strike. He has Sand Strangler and Trial of Zeal here. Which creature do I want to save more? With my opponent at such low life, having a creature with Afflict is really good. So I think I'm actually going to use Gale Strike on this. Which will draw me a card as well. Okay, it was a mountain. So he's going to play Trial of Zeal now and use it on the Moloch. Most likely. He might actually go after the Initiate, I guess, because he's afraid of the inevitability. It's not an easy... I guess it's not the easiest choice. I wish I could pump him to 4 now. Maybe I can in response and my opponent will be scared. But I think killing either of them is probably... I don't know which one's more right. They're going to kill that. And I don't blame them for doing it because of the inevitability that can offer. Ugh. Alright, well... We are going to play Spellweaver Eternal, and we're just going to end our turn. Our opponent's in a position where, like, trying to trick them into blocking, they're just going to want to block anyway, you know? So it's not really worth it, I don't think, trying to trick them into blocking. And then pretending like I'm trying to trick them, you know, and that I have a way to pump my Moloch. It's just not worth it. So I think the Manticore is coming back now. We need... Oh, no. We don't want you to gain life. What are you thinking? Removal. Come on. No! Ugh. We're in trouble. We have hit a wall here, and we just can't draw spells anymore. And, you know, that happens. It's Magic. It is part of the game. Wow, that's pretty aggressive. And I'm going to take it. Opponent goes up to 5. They're going to play their Manticore and drop us to 10. Where's Unesh when you need her? Or him? Okay. Well, this could potentially just win us the game, except for Cradle of the Accursed exists. But we are just going to go Braid. Okay, get rid of the Strangler, hopefully. I guess if you have Trials of Zeal and Sand Stranglers, Leave the Chance is actually pretty sweet. Alright, so we're going to attack with both of these. See what our opponent does about that. Minimum, they're going to make a zombie token. Maximum, they're going to use a removal spell and make me cry. I'm hoping they just make a zombie token. No, man. Okay, they go to 2. They do go to 2. Manticore. Okay, we need puncturing blast or whatever it's called off the top. Draw that off the top. Oh, yeah, that's the only thing that can get us there now, too. God, that renewed faith for 6 life was pivotal in the end. I mean, it's not over yet. There are a few things we can draw, like our Unesh would go a long way to helping us win here. But there's not a lot. There's not a lot left in our deck that can get us out of this. I haven't seen you in a while. That's actually pretty nice right now. I mean, it could be... I'd rather it be something else in some ways because... yeah, but it does have flying. So if we just scry into a spell on top of our library and we're allowed to attack with it, we can just kill our opponent. So, should I play another land? 2, 5, 6... No, I can only scroll 3 times. Scry 3 times anyway. Wait. 3, 4, 5. Twice is what I mean. This costs 6 to scry. 3 to scry each time. Open Fire could just instantly win us the game. Any instant or sorcery, depending on if my opponent has removal or whatever, could also win us the game. So I'm hoping scrying will do us some good. Cartouche of Knowledge would get pretty close to just winning us the game. Did we already play a cartouche? No, different game. Don't play a Sand Strangler. Don't play a Sand Strangler. I mean, it's not the end of the world if he does, but... Ooh, he's going to chance. Okay. That is good news in the sense that our opponent has no way to stop us in his hand, and he's trying to find a way. So the bad news is our opponent had the opportunity to try to find a way. But the good news is, you know, we know they didn't have one, I guess. If they're being desperate, it's good news, I guess is what I'm trying to say here. I'm just going to take 5. Go to 5. I wonder what my opponent has in their hand. I don't know, but I'm going to scry a couple times here. If I just see open fire, that would be awesome. No thank you. No thank you again. I could go for this. It's not the worst. I could at least play it. I could use it to block for a turn. I think I'm going to put it on the bottom, though, and we're going to scry more on my upkeep. So now we're the ones sort of being desperate here. Oh, come on. Come on now. God. Okay, there we go. We will keep that. And we will draw it. And we're going to try to just go Magma Spray. We have 2 creatures who are lethal. Our opponent can use the Cradle to block one of them. But the other one is flying. So our opponent would need some pretty impressive stuff in their hand to not die here. I think we attack with both, because if our opponent just has impeccable timing or something, then we're screwed. But our opponent has to have he has to be able to do a lot with 4 mana to stop us. Okay, good. We got there. That was a little scary, scrying as many times as we had to, but we did it. Yeah. Try to win the 3rd game now. All right, so I think this is a keepable hand. We have a 2-drop, a Gale Strike, and of course our Unesh for the late game. Those all seem appealing to me. Oh yeah, we don't need to hold on our upkeep anymore. And now we also have a 3-drop, which is nice. We have the 2 that sort of combo together for a late game. Some late game pain for our opponent. Is our opponent going to play a 2-drop for the first time? They do. And it's pretty good against our Pathmaker. They may have sided it in because I have a few 2/1s. Opponent's deck seems almost mono-red. That's pretty good. I feel okay about the fact that they'd use it on my Pathmaker Initiate, you know. But it's still pretty good. There's our open fire. We're not going to worry ourselves about that right now, though. We're just going to play Minotaur Sure Shot. Hopefully our opponent doesn't go like Cartouche Trial of Zeal again right here. That would not be fun. Especially in a world where I have open fire in my hand. So, that would be frustrating. So I think we're taking 1 to the face. Yes. Yes, we are. Sand Strangler. I just keep expecting Sand Strangler. No, it's Fervent Paincaster. Do I want to use open fire on the Paincaster? Probably. I probably do. More than I want to play a Moloch. Yeah, so open fire. Would rather it be magma spray, of course, but you know, what are you going to do? And we're going to attack for 2. We're not too far from playing Unesh. We just need to draw 1 more land, and we have a couple turns to do it. Our opponent does not have a lot in the way of flyers. So is our opponent going to use leave here? And try to draw... not try to draw. And play Trial of Zeal again. If it's a freaking Manticore, man. Our opponent and his Manticores. It's like the same one, too, every game. Without fail. Yeah, it's obnoxious. Does not feel good. Do I plan on... What do I want to do here? I could play Trial of Knowledge and plan on taking 5 next turn. I could also just try to block and leave mana up to kill the Manticore. None of these options are super appealing because I can't do 2 of anything. I could play... No, playing the Moloch doesn't really matter. I think getting the card advantage I'm going to get between Trial of Knowledge and Unesh is worth it, and I just have to accept the fact that I'm going to take 5. I am going to attack with my Minotaur, though, because I'm not planning on blocking with it. So I'm going to attack with it. Then play my Trial. My opponent blocks, and I'll pump and try to kill the Manticore, but yeah, I didn't think he would. If I knew I could kill the Manticore by spending 4 mana right now, I would do it. But there's no way to know. Yeah, we'll tap like that. So unsummon, I guess, if unsummon happens. So we're going to draw 3 cards. And, okay, we did get the land we wanted. I think I'd probably just discard Crash Through so that I can play Unesh next turn for sure. Yeah. And then we're going to end our turn. Even if I just play Unesh and trade with the Manticore, I think I come out ahead there. Black. What? That's not exactly what I was expecting. Smash for 5. I go to 8. Kind of scared of what our opponent could do with all that mana. I'm hoping he's just clutching lands in his hand, though. Don't play anything. Come on. I just spent a turn not playing anything that affected the board. You can do it too. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Just... No, they gotta have something. What's good for them is, like, even if they don't have anything, they can at least make a zombie, which, you know, that's a thing. I think my plan at this point is to play Unesh, get the few cards from it I get, and trade with the Manticore. And that is a dangerous plan, because if our opponent has removal, we're just screwed. Oh, they are just going with the zombie, though. That makes me feel okay about playing Unesh. Makes me feel better than I did initially about playing Unesh. Alright. Unesh it is. Come on, Unesh. Draw some more cards. My plan was that between the Trial and the Unesh, I would draw enough extra cards that the Manticore wouldn't scare me anymore. So, and Unesh, if Unesh can just trade and I can get a couple cards out of this, I'm going to feel pretty happy. That's a hard one for our opponent. I'm guessing they don't put Real Form and Spellweaver Eternal together. I would love if they did. But yeah, I'm definitely planning on blocking that Manticore with Unesh. Just leave it like that. That's fine. Okay, do we want Riddle Form or Spellweaver Eternal more? Oh, our opponent changed their mind. I mean, the question's going to be the same. Do we want Spellweaver Eternal in 2 lands, or do we want Riddle Form more? The Spellweaver, I feel like, might actually be better here, but maybe it's not. It's probably not. The scrying that this can allow... Yeah, let's take this. Let's take the Riddle Form. And I'll end my turn with the plan of blocking Manticore of the Gauntlet. Hopefully our opponent doesn't cast Leave right here. That would disgust me. They would bounce their Trial and their Manticore if they did, and replay both of them. No, you don't have Leave. Am I about to be disgusted? That would put me pretty much dead. Yeah, they have it. God. I won't be dead this turn, but it basically kills me because... because that gives them 6 damage that they can just dome me with, plus Ramunap Ruins. They do have to do it all over 3 turns, so I have a little bit of time to try to find a way out, but I don't have a lot of time. Yeah, they're just going to play the Manticore. Gross. And I can't really attack. I mean, maybe I can, but not really. We'll see what I draw and what I do with my turn, but... Okay, I mean, I guess I can attack. I guess that's what I have to do here. My opponent can play Trial of Zeal and kill this, but I'm going to play 2 blockers. And maybe it's not best to attack here. Maybe I just attack with my Sure Shot. I don't know. I have to kill my opponent somehow before they kill me, which is inevitable now, more or less. If I want to have any hope here. Crap. Crap, crap, crap. Let's attack. Could Gale Strike my own Unesh. Get the trigger again. What sucks is how bad Gale Strike is against this Manticore, which I've mentioned already. So I'm going to go Firebrand Archer. I'm going to go Riddle Form. Drop their opponent to 11. Then I'm going to go Thorned Moloch. And I'm going to end my turn. I'm not sure there's much here that can save us. Our opponent has not quite enough mana. Oh, no, yeah. Not quite enough mana for the Trial, and... yeah. So are they going to Trial me, or are they going to Trial Minotaur Sure Shot? I have a feeling they're going to go to my Dome, because then I'm just dead next turn when they untap, because of Ramunap Ruins, yeah. Alright. Where's my lifelink in red-blue? Well, they might just be able to kill me now if they have open fire. Probably just killing me now. No, maybe not. What could I draw that can get me out of this? Nothing? Puncturing Blow would be good, but it wouldn't be that good. This costs 4 plus tapping the desert, so you can't do it now. Ah, you can do that though. Which, if there was any hope, if I had any hope at all, it's certainly gone now. I have never seen someone use Leave so effectively, and this deck is like made for Leave, because our opponent can bounce Trial of Zeal, bounce Sand Strangler, bounce Manticores, and that's pretty legit. Yeah, I actually have to block both of these too. I'm not really sure why I'm actually playing this out, but hey, why not? I don't have anything to get me out of this. So close. Actually, if I draw open fire here... Oh, I already cast my open fire. I was going to say, if I draw my open fire here, that could win me the game. Oh, I get my... do get that back, but that doesn't really do me any good. Okay. Why don't you get bigger every time I do something? Or something. Trial of knowledge? Sure. Why don't I have 2 riddle forms in play? We were so close. Yet. So far. Yeah, so Unsummon's not going to do me any good. We're at 2. Opponent can just ruins our face off. Yeah. All right. Well, we're going to attack for 8 and then concede just to make ourselves feel a little better. I think our deck has performed quite well, but our opponents leave shenanigans really made our lives difficult. Really made our lives difficult, but hopefully we can win the next one. Final match of an Hour Devastation draft. We are 1-1. This hand is an interesting one. We don't have anything remotely to do in the early turns. But I have removal. I think I'll keep it. It's not great, but could be worse. I have both my colors. I have everything I could ever want except a creature. Creature would be good, but we are going to cast Tragic Lesson, which isn't too bad, which will probably help us hit a creature if we can't otherwise. Catcher's Avenger. Oh, hey, there's a creature. I think we go ahead and play that since we have a handful of spells. Doing extra damage as we cast them seems appealing to me. Would have much rather played that on turn 2, of course, but, you know, it's just not how it worked out. I'm going to be pretty happy if he feels like he has to exert his Catcher's Avenger here. Because I'm not blocking. Exert it. Oh, they're right not to. There's no reason to exert it there. Best I can do is trade, and I'm probably not going to do it. Ugh. Sunscourged Champion is not ideal, exactly. We need our Puncturing Blow to deal with that nonsense. There's not much else that can. Well, I think we're just going to take some more damage to the face and take the time to play Spellweaver Eternal here. Sort of set up future turns where we can do all these other things. But for now, we're probably going to 12. God, I hate Eternalize. Makes my removal look so bad. Compulsory Rest. Well, we're going to gain some life then. At least there's that. He is exerting that time. Cool with me. I will take 5 and go to 12. We're going to go back to 14 at the end of our opponent's turn, though. Thanks to Compulsory Rest. So our opponent could have impeccable timing. That could be why they're just sort of chilling. I am going to cast Tragic Lesson, do one to my opponent. Probably just discard a land instead of returning one. Yeah. Play a land. Is it really worth to attack here when I could be playing into impeccable timing? I guess it's not terrible. Yeah, let's do it. Opponent probably has impeccable timing, but no, they don't. We're just going to get it for 2 free damage. Awesome. That is exerted, so that's nice for us. We are going to take 2 to the face here. And our opponent is playing Those Who Serve. Okay. Well, interesting. Now we can do some pretty interesting Thorned Moloch things. So I think I play my Moloch just in the turn. So I have a lot of choices here, thanks to prowess. If I could just block this and kill it, and I don't feel too bad about that because I can at least then Gale Strike the token. Oh, I won't have, he doesn't have first strike though unless he's attacking, so it's probably not the best plan actually. Let's see what my opponent does here. Exerted, you're all attacking. Okay. I think I'm actually going to use Gale Strike on Those Who Serve instead, and then block this and deal with the ramifications later. So, Gale Strike. Draw a card. Do 1 to our opponent, drop him to 18. We'll block with our Moloch on this, which will hopefully just kill it. Could have Magma Sprayed, I guess. That might have been better. That probably would have been better. Magma Spray here, take 2, and block that. Probably would have been better. Oh, there's Puncturing Blow. That's kind of frustrating. It's what I would really want to remove this, but that's okay. I can still remove the token with it. It'll just gain my opponent life and crap, so. But yeah, we'll block. Oh god, do they have a trick? Great. Well, that ruins everything. Maybe I should have declared the block first. And then use the, yeah, I don't know. It doesn't ruin everything actually, because now we can actually cast Puncturing Blow on it and not worry about him anymore. Coming back. So, you know, that's what I wanted to happen. I swear. Right. We need to draw some more powerful creatures, basically. Those Who Serve and Dutiful Servants are going to beat us to death. I've never actually looked at the art of the... I mean, I knew they were similar, but never actually compared the art of the two. So, all right, so we're going to take 2. I'm going to Magma Spray Oketra's Avenger at the end of our opponent's turn. And not what I was hoping for. Okay. I think we're just taking 4 this turn. Oh, God. Yeah, that's bad. Our opponent's deck's very good against ours. It makes all of our spot removal horrendous because they have all these Embalm and Eternalize. And so, like, I'm going to cast Open Fire here, but it's pretty bad. Oh, are we just dead? We are just dead now. Okay. All right, then. Well, that did not go well at all. Cunning Survivor is pretty good against those big, dumb 2 X's. Might just be better in this matchup than that, yeah, that guy. Might also be true of a Seer in place of something. Maybe like Tragic Lesson. It's probably our weakest. Yeah, we'll cut Tragic Lesson. Yeah, I think just siding in a couple creatures you can block a little better is an okay way to sideboard there. I would like to play first. Okay, this is a pretty good hand. If we can go Eternal, Eternal, Crash Through, that's pretty nice. Even better if we go Eternal, Eternal, Moloch, Crash Through, but, you know, you can't have it all. Eternal. Cycling something. Okay, well. Do I just try to coax my opponent to block here? Is my opponent? I think I do. I think I'm okay with trading and doing 2 to my opponent. It's not going to be quite as awesome as the alternative, but if I trade and do 2, then yeah, just doing 2 works for me too. So I'm okay with that. So I think I play the other Spellweaver instead of the Minotaur. Okay, Sunscorched Champion again. Frustrating, but it's not the end of the world. I probably just cast Crash Through here. Be awesome if I could draw another cheap spell. If I could play both Crash Through and Magma Spray. Let's have it be Magma Spray. Oh, that's actually what I'm going to do now. I've had that for him both times, which has been good. And in this case, I'm also getting in for 6. So that is pretty good. Is this a her? Not certain. That card, gender pronouns, or, you know, don't need to use them. Attack for 6. Opponent goes down to 14. Which feels pretty good. Yeah, if we could just draw more removal, just keep drawing it, that would be great. Ugh. Well, that puts a damper on my plans, I feel like. I'm going to play my Minotaur and just end my turn. I have to wait for an opening to use Crash Through effectively. A turn where I have 2 different instants and sorceries, or non-creature spells, actually, I guess that's all it is kind of what we need to wait for. And that won't be that hard. I mean, Crash Through costs 1. We can play basically any other instant sorcery in our deck if we have the mana for it. So I'll take 5. Sure. My opponent probably has an Oketra's Name. Ah, really? You have more than one Sunscorched Champion? Oh, God. That's ugly. This seems like a good point to go for it. I just have to hope I draw something. If I don't, I'm going to be really mad. There's a good chance I don't, so I don't really have the right to be that mad, I don't think, about it. But why? We're just gonna attack with everything. That's frustrating. Feels like maybe I should have run 16 lands in this. My curve was relatively low. I do have a 6 though, so yeah, he's gonna block. We do get to afflict them, and we do get to also pump this a couple times. So we're gonna do some serious damage here, but think about how much better it would have been if I drew another spell. Would have been messed up. My creatures would have all survived. His champion would be dead. So, but we did not. And we still have like 10 left in our library, so 40-ish% chance we draw a spell. That only costs 4? I was totally thinking it cost 5. That's bad news. Bad news. I need like unsummon. Oh. Well, riddle form it is. Would have been nice. But it does give us something of a chance, I think. I just wish I had more spells to back him up, but I do not. And I'm just going to end my turn. Probably, if my opponent doesn't exert Catcher's Avenger, I probably just have to block it. There's a very good chance our opponent has Catcher's name in their hand, which will really blow us out. But we have to block here, or we're dead. So we don't really have a choice but to get blown out. Yeah, so that's what I'm going to try to do. I'm going to try to block here, and I'm going to try to block here. But as I said, very good chance we get blown out by Catcher's name. We played 2 monocolor decks here. Sandblast. Okay, well, that's not quite as bad. It's still bad. Oh, do you have impeccable time? Okay, that's pretty bad. I'm not dead like I would have been completely dead, but basically, why don't I have Hour of Devastation? Yeah, this draft started well, and I think our deck performed well. No, it's not going to save us. We're too low, but let's cast it anyway. It feels good. Yeah. But I think our deck performed pretty well on the whole. I think it was a pretty good deck on the whole, but we just couldn't put together 2 game wins against our second and third opponents. Yeah, none of that's really helping us. We'll just concede. I won't make the guy, go through, figure out what it is. So, not a good draft. Our record wasn't good anyway, but I think our deck was solid on the whole. So I don't feel terrible about it. I don't feel great either, though. So, thanks for watching. My drafts, as you can see on the screen, are sponsored by 5colorcombo.com, a great website for all things Magic. You can use my discount code NITZAHONE5 there for a 5% discount, and I'll see you in the next draft video.